Hi again folks, how you all doing? This is a Dapol Class 22 that was sent to me by a chap called Bill. He said that this runs fine in one direction but not at all in the other, although the lights seem to work. Let's turn on the power and see what happens. So it runs fine in that direction. Let's try it in reverse. Well, the cab lights come on. There's absolutely nothing. It's pulling about 50 milliamps on the meter. So it looks to me like this has got some kind of electrical problem. I can't back it into the shed. I'll need to turn it around quickly while nobody's looking. Okay, let's back it into the shed. Okay then, a Dapol Class 22. This is my first Dapol diesel that I've looked at. I've looked at a couple of Dapol steam locomotives, the older ones, and can't say I was very impressed. But yeah, I've seen a lot of Dapol diesels at exhibitions going for quite good prices. But I've always been a bit wary of them, so it'd be quite interesting to get a look at this. Right, okay, how do I get into this? I mean, I'm guessing the problem it has is something to do with the PCB or something. Does this clip on? Kind of looks like it does, yeah. Am I going to need cocktail sticks? I don't think so. It's off quite easy. Ooh. Right, okay. So there's the PCB, and that looks more like a decoder than a blanking plate, and it's very loose. Oh, spotted a problem. That to me looks like it's blown. From what I understand, a DCC decoder will have two transistors for each direction. So I'm guessing that's the forward direction and that's the reverse one, and it's blown. That's what I'm surmising anyway. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to go online and do a wee bit of research on this. Let's go and see what I can find out. Right, so I've been online and done a wee bit of research. It looks like these models come with this installed and will run on DC. So I think what I would like to do is get another one of these and see if it runs. These are Imperium 6-function decoders. So I'm guessing if I just get another one of them, stick it in, it'll be fine. So I'll need to speak to Bill and see if he's okay for me to order up another one of these, and we'll give that a go. I mean, I make it quite clear that I don't deal with DCC related issues, and strictly speaking, this is a DCC related issue. But you know, if it's just a case of replacing that and it'll run under DC, then that's fine. But this is one of the reasons I'm kind of reluctant to really get into doing DCC work. You know, I've been toying with the idea of doing DC to DCC conversions for people, and I know I could do it, but I'm just worried about where it goes because, you know, from what I've seen online reading about DCC, it's such a minefield, and it's really confusing, all the different types of decoders and how different models work and all the CV settings. It's just, you know, I wouldn't be happy doing DCC related work for other people until I've got my head around it completely. And whether I ever do or not, I don't know. But yeah, I'm not quite there yet. Right, okay, we'll order one of them up and then we'll get back to this. Right, a couple of days later, it's got all cold again outside. I've got the new decoder. I dare say there are DCC boffins that would tell me, oh, you don't want to fit one of these, fit one of whatever, but I don't know. The safest thing for me to do, especially as this isn't my model, is just to replace the faulty component like for like, which is what I'm doing here. So let's open this up and we'll plug it in and we'll see if it solves the problem. So we look at the instructions. Blah, blah, blah. It doesn't say anything about DC running, but from what I've read, these models do run on DC out the box, so let's plug this in and see what happens. If it doesn't work, I'm kind of stuck though. Let's just compare the backs of them. So you can see the one that's blown. So you can see this one on the right here. Looks like that's blown to me, that wee white dot. It's a wee bit of melting. So, plug this in. Like so. Right, let's see if that's resolved the problem. It runs in that direction with lights. And it runs in that direction. Nice. A very simple repair. Just looking at the wheels and the axles and everything, it's all very, very clean, which is nice to see. I don't want to go taking this apart and poking around in it. The problem has been resolved. That's all that matters. Yeah, it's a nice model actually. Dapol do a Class 68 in ScotRail Saltire livery, which I'd quite like to get. So yeah, it's been quite interesting to get a close look at a Dapol diesel model. So yeah, something else to look out for at Model Rail Scotland next month. Right, okay, let's go and pull this out the shed. Okay then, let's bring it out. So there we go, that's Bill's Dapol Class 22 running in both directions. Now, the more observant of you may have noticed that there's a wee issue with the directional lighting on this. At one end, the red and white lights go on and off depending on the direction of travel, as they should, but at the other end, both lights stay on regardless. Could be a faulty LED board, could be a fault in the PCB, or for all I know, it could be corrected by tweaking the CV settings, which my old select DCC controller doesn't do. It would need to be sent to Hornby to get a firmware upgrade. So I asked Bill what he wanted me to do, whether to try a replacement PCB, etc. But he said he's just happy it runs in both directions, so to leave it as it is. I'd do the same if this was mine. It's not that noticeable so long as you keep the end with the working lights facing forwards. But yet again, I found myself having to dip into the dark world with DCC, and I don't like it. It's a scary place fraught with danger and considerable expense. But I'm now thinking I should get myself a more up-to-date DCC controller for working on these things, as it would help diagnose stuff like this. But as I make clear to people who send me locomotives, I don't deal with DCC related issues. Nice model this though, and I'll be keeping an eye out for a Dapol Class 68 in ScotRail Saltire livery. Okay folks, I shall get this packed up and sent back to Bill. Catch you later folks.